Kenyans living in the United States of America demonstrated against the IMF deal plan with the current president administration, and they were saying that enough is enough, and the best time for Kenyans to wake up from their slumber and reject the IMF loan, which is now being borrowed by President William Samoei Ruto's administration. Allow me to display that video clip on our YouTube platform, because that is what we want to discuss today on our political discussion.
Now, Kenyans living in the United States took to the streets of Washington, D.C. outside the International Monetary Fund headquarters, blaming them of economic interference while demanding an end to crippling loans. The tens of Kenyans lamented over the continued debt brought by the loans issued by the IMF to the country, and while chanting anti-IMF slogans, the demonstrators mourned the over 50 Kenyans that have been killed in the protest in the last 1 month. They also blamed President William Ruto for wastage of public funds in his government, contributed by unending benchmarking trips outside the country, trips they claim have had little benefit on Kenyans. They called for an end of neocolonialism, advocating for financial sovereignty and sustainable development.
What are we here to say? Not on our watch!
The U.S. government has given to Kenya's President William Ruto represents the racist contempt this settler state has for all Africa and for the domestic population of descendants from the continent.
Those who are left behind here, they've decided to give us orders. We are very, very angry, and we're telling the IMF that there is democracy in Kenya. The protesters have a right to go out in the streets and say no.
The IMF has given Kenyans loans, loans up to 22 loans since independence. So that's one every 3 years. And those are not loans to help our economic development. You can't be borrowing 22 loans since independence and think if you come out of economic trouble.
Now, Kenyans living in the United States took to the streets of Washington, D.C. outside the International Monetary Fund headquarters, blaming them of economic interference while demanding an end to crippling loans. The tens of Kenyans...
Yes, you've watched and listened to that video clip I was just displaying, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, there was an interruption. Now, I want you to understand one thing here. That the IMF loan was not officially taken by President Ruto as the first president. I think it began on Uhuru's government, because the late Mwai Kibaki was not having any interest on loan. Kibaki tried his level best. But when Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto took over, they're the ones who made this country into bad picture or bad situation we are. So I will not blame Ruto alone, but I will blame all of them. Because Uhuru Kenyatta also came up with this Eurobond. We are all aware of it. We've seen several cases on the Eurobond and so many things which happened during Uhuru Kenyatta's time. And that spirit tormented President Ruto. And up to now, he had that spirit and he was forced to continue with the borrowing loan. Then the question again which should ring into your mind. Do you want to say that country Kenya cannot stand firm, perform its own duty without borrowing loan? The answer is no. Yes, the answer is yes. Sorry. It can. It is possible. We can work as a country and even stabilize ourselves without borrowing loans. We have several resources of minerals. We have several things which we must now accept and move on as a country. But because of corruption and so many other things, it has forced even the Kenyans in diaspora to express their feelings and demonstrate, to make it worse, to the IMF headquarter in United States of America. Imagine that they are saying enough is enough to our country. We are tired of borrowing loans. So they mount pressure on President Ruto that if you borrow another loan, you will cater for it. That is what these people are confirming to the current head of state. It means that they have checked and looked out on what loans borrowing or borrowed have done. The result is negative. And if the result is negative, it means that there were some cartels in the government who had squandered the money. There were some people, corrupted leaders in this country who had squandered the money. Borrowing loan by the president is not bad, but it is only getting wrong if they have not performed with the money they are borrowing, that borrowed. And that is what these people have come in a conclusion by saying that this is too much. And I can say that is ugly SPAT, with they had shown and demanding an end of a rippling loan, which is now tormenting Kenyans upside and down. I'd analyzed this about the World Bank and the IMF, and I said the consequences which will get the country having being controlled by the IMF. So we don't know if President Ruto had ended this loan borrowing or it is still carrying on. He have never come out in public and rectify or elaborate to Kenyans if he ended it. So that is the first thing. He must come out as a president and confirm to Kenyans that I borrowed loan from the IMF or the World Bank. But right now I'm not borrowing loan because I'm still struggling to stabilize this economy. I am still struggling to ensure things are sorted out as you demanded. And that is what we say, listening to the people, subjecting yourself, and understanding Kenyans and their rights. But if you carry on this way, then even the Australians, the Kenyans in Australia, they are going to demonstrate. In UK, they are going to demonstrate. In Zanzibar, in whichever, Amsterdam, abroad, overseas country, they are going to demonstrate, and the result, you know, the president. The result is that you are going to be denied any loan. Hata kama ulikuwa na emergency. Again, traveling itakuwa ngori sana. Even to the citizen in the country. Because hawa wataona mko na deni mlipe kwanza. And that is what we don't want. Please, listen to Kenyans and accept that mistake we had borrowed loan as Kenyans. Let me just try to put myself in that shoe. But let us check the result on this. This is a very bad picture. If our blood brothers and sisters can now demonstrate abroad, confirming to you that the country is headed into a wrong direction. I rest my case at that point. Ladies and gentlemen, drop your opinion at the comment section below. And I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for your great support to this channel. I want to appreciate you, and I'm still appreciating you. Please consider to give your opinion at the comment section below. Thank you.